This guy here, it's got a bit of a lean to it if you haven't noticed. And that is because the actual root ball started to peel up on that thing, but because it had all these dead log or trees falling on it, it didn't go all the way over. Right, because the direct wind comes down that valley and it tried to blow it over, but it couldn't go because of the weight on that root ball. You can see the roots sticking up right there. So this is just a textbook killer scenario, literally killer. All right, so we got a downhill slope here, because I'm pretty sure if I just cut these logs away, that tree would go over by itself, right? It's the weight of the logs that's holding it down. But it's kind of awkward to cut those logs away if you're standing on a downhill slope. They're just going to roll into you. So you don't want to do that. But at the same time, if you're on the other side of the pile cutting, you're underneath the tree when it's going to fall. Right, and you never know when it's going to fall, right? It could be a couple 100 pounds of wood. Probably a bit more than that, but once you release that tipping point, right, you don't know where the tipping point's going to be. And, you know, it could be 1 log, 2 log, 3 logs, you cut them, and then all of a sudden the thing starts to go, right? So it's just really dangerous. So I was thinking, it might be better to get in on the other side, clear a path around the other side. That way I can run away from all this danger trees and logs and stuff down here. And then do a small notch cut, because, you know, it's got a huge amount of lean on it. It almost doesn't need one, but do a really small notch cut and then do a plunge back cut. I don't know if that's the technical term for it. Right, so you leave the fibers on the outside of the tree where it's leaning, right, and you plunge your saw through close to your hinge and then cut out. So the tree doesn't fall until your blade's coming out the back of the log, right, which is a typical procedure they use for trees that have strong leans to them. So part of me is like, I just need to channel my inner Billy Ray here and do it. And then the other part of me is like, maybe I should just call Billy, get him to come do it, because I am not a professional faller. Textbook. I can still hear the dog barking. That means I didn't kill her. Double win. She's all freaked out from the tree hitting the ground. Arr, get that tree. Good girl, Zoe. You stayed away. Good girl. Come here. There's a big giant hit the ground. Hey, did that scare you? Yeah, that scare you? Boom. That's why you stay away. Nothing like slaying a dragon. That one was worrying me for quite some time, but I'm glad she's finally down and I'm not dead. That went really well, and this saw, man, I love this 500. It's just insane. Just plunged through that tree like hot butter, baby. And right as I got to like the last 2 inches there, I don't know if you could see it in the camera, it was just like crack, and it just sheared off. Came down nice and flat. I think this one's definitely big enough to make a couple boom logs out of. Might even be able to mill the bottom end. Got decent growth rings for second growth. Woo-wee! That is fun. Oh yeah. Well, it's about 10 more dead snags down. And I got a little bit of cleanup to do here. My anxiety pretty much disappears when I'm out here. The moment I get back into town and look at my phone, it all comes flooding back. I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of getting crazy out there, don't you think? Like the screen addiction. I'm not preaching to you guys, I'm preaching to myself. You know, whenever I'm in town, in the house, like I'm just too much staring at the phone. Not good. You know, people didn't have that easy distraction, and what would you do with all that time? You know, I look at my screen reports and it's like 3-4 hours a day, sometimes more. I'm just doom scrolling or whatever you call it. You know, and some of that's, you know, work and emailing and research and stuff like that, but you know, people used to spend that time with their hobbies. You know, when was the last time you really got a lot of, you know, when you did one of your hobbies for like 4 or 5 hours, you know, consistently, every couple of days, every week? When's the last time? Like, do you even think about starting a new hobby? Not even close. Everybody's way too busy, you know? If anything, people are throwing their hobbies away, right? Because we don't have any time, but we do. It's just been stolen from us by our phones. You know, it's kind of crazy, but it's true, you know? You know, people way back, like hundreds of years ago, people, you think they worked harder then? They actually worked less. They might have done harder labor, but people worked like 4 or 5 hours a day, and then the rest of the day was theirs. And, you know, that's why people were musicians and had all these hobbies and extra talents, was because they had time to develop them. They only worked as much as they needed to make food, grow food, you know, trade for food, create their wares, and the rest of the time people valued as their free time. But what has happened to that? We don't value that anymore. Or we do, but we don't know how to get it back. Everybody wants it back, but can't put our phones down. Everything is so simple out here. The moment you go into town, it just gets real complicated real quick. For those of you wondering, I'd say like my stress level has been cut in half since downsizing our home and moving up here and being out in the woods more and at the lake. You know, my anxiety has dropped right off. The only thing that still brings me anxiety and stress is getting content out onto the internet, you know, feeding the machine. You know, and I'm looking to get out of this game eventually, once this property is established. I don't want to do this forever. I don't want to do this forever, but not the content creation. So, you know, I just got to keep feeding the machine for now. You know, all of you trust the science people out there. I don't need to, you know, get all spiritual on you, but the science is showing that walking barefoot on the dirt in the forest, spending hours in the forest, is so good for your mental health, your physical health, like all your well-being. Spend time outdoors. Like, you know, the scriptures have been saying that, the science is saying that, like, that's the truth. And so for you guys who are super stressed out and don't feel like you don't have any time, you have to take time to get outside. Even if you just go sit on a beach and just watch the water. Sitting by a river is like so therapeutic. A creek, a trickling stream, any kind of moving water will just work wonders for your soul, your body, like everything. Put your feet in the water, put your feet in the dirt, the sand, like get in contact with your creator, with nature, where we came from, right? I don't care if you're spiritual and you believe in God or you believe in science. We came from the earth. Okay, that's just the truth. So if all you're in contact with is steel and plastic and synthetic fabrics and rubber shoes, and you're not in contact with Mother Nature, with the earth, with the dirt, with the trees, the wood, the natural elements, like, you're killing yourself. So please, I can't stress this enough. Get outdoors. Hello, mister. Ooh, you look tasty. Oh, I gotta tell you, it's been a wet, rough couple of weeks, but man, coming out to the lake to see this morning is just, oh, such a blessing to my heart. It's gonna be a great day. So I'm taking down this big cedar here because she's perched right up on top of a rock, and the forest fire that came through several years ago burned the roots pretty good and all the topsoil around the tree, so it's just slowly been dying over the last few years, and I'm taking it down because it will also make a really good boom log. The cedar logs float really well and are bigger in diameter, so they're great for breaking the waves and protecting my dock. So I'm just gonna have to let this one sit for a year or so to release a lot of the moisture, because you don't want to put them in the water right away when they're freshly cut, because they're still full of water and a lot of times they can sink or they just won't float as well as a dry log. So I'll stack this one to the side with a few other logs, let them dry out for a year so that I have more logs to add to my log boom for the next season. Before I put the logs in the water and link them up to my log boom, I have to cut these big holes through with the chainsaw, which is, you know, definitely a sketchy maneuver, especially in sandals and shorts, but a pair of boots and pants are arguably not going to really protect you if a chainsaw this big hits you anyways, so it's best to just not do things that don't make you feel safe and comfortable with your tools. I am pretty experienced with a chainsaw, and so this doesn't bother me. I know it freaks a lot of you guys out, but maybe you should just pause the video, go change your panties, and get on with it. In the meantime, I'm just gonna get on with my life and build this log boom. Well, we got 2 more lifts to move today, and then we're done. 12,000 pounds of lumber. I actually feel pretty good after doing all that heavy lifting yesterday. Kicked my metabolism into gear. Time to get my beach body ready for the summer, you know? Get rid of the old dad bod. It's been creeping all winter. Oh yeah, back her in. Well, the trailer's empty and we are off with the last load here. Just a bunch of 2x6. Can't wait to get this finished. A lot of wood. Try and sling this middle pile here, and then we'll have to unload the rest by hand because it's going through the rails there. But every bit we can lift with the machine, the better. Some pretty fresh cut green wood, so it's heavy. So I'm making 2 fingers for the dock, which are going to be 4 foot wide and about 20 feet long. And then one's going to go right where the 2 docks join here, out that way. And then the same thing at the other end. And they're going to have a little 45 section just so that, you know, people aren't falling in the front where the boat's going to park in there. Gives you a little bit more square footage to walk around the boat. And then I'm going to be bolting them on with sets of galvanized hinges so they'll kind of move independently of each other. So first things first, I'm going to just square up all my ends, cut it to length, and then start doing some notching and lagging. So I'm using 8" by 3/8 construction screws here by U2 fasteners. You don't even have to pre-drill these things, which makes it just dreamy for lagging stuff together.
This video has been made possible by my sponsors, U2 Fasteners, Odie's Oil Wood Finishes, and Princess Auto. If you guys would like to get more information on the products these companies offer, just follow the links in the description box below.
Well, good morning from Camp Heartwood. Gotta say, the reflection today is a solid 9 out of 10. As you can see in the foreground, there is some slight rippling, which disturbs the reflection just a minute amount. Clearly enough for one demerit. But overall, strong performance on the reflection this morning. So me and all my coordinated abilities, I decided to kick off one of the hinge brackets when I was standing up yesterday, and it went down about 25-30 feet. So we're trying to fish it with the magnet here because we need it to connect our dock. Oh, yeah, straight down, needs some slack. So close. Got it? I think you got it. Yeah, you got it. Nice. Bring her up. Sweet. Thank God that Eddie had his fishing magnet. Because there's no way I was going to be able to dive down in that cold water. Alright, let's not drop that again. Gosh. You are the man, Eddie.
That thing comes in handy once in a while.
I bet I need to get one of those.
I just wanted to take a minute to thank the sponsor for this video, you guys. U2 Fasteners is a company that I've been working with for years now, and I gotta say they are the best in the business as far as my opinion is concerned. When it comes to lag screws and top quality, hardware for your woodworking projects. I've built my entire dock with these screws exclusively, all the decking, all the lagging, all the joists, everything. And they are holding up beautifully thus far. I've had to back out many screws on the deck boards to lift them up to add hardware and stuff, and the screws are still all holding super well. None of them are breaking as I'm taking them out. The coatings look completely brand new still after a couple of years in yellow cedar and water in a wet environment. So for those of you guys who are starting any big outdoor projects, decks, docks, that sort of stuff on your property, I highly recommend you check out U2 Fasteners at your local hardware store and pick up a box and see how good they are for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
Go, buddy, go.
Nice. Future.
Going for a cruise.
So now that windy season is back at the lake, the winds really pick up here in the spring and summertime, I have to place some more anchors and add more logs to my log boom. I've spent countless hours on this log boom to get it to where it is now, adding chain and anchors and multiple layers of logs. But I need to add more because the waves are still getting through and pushing my boats and dock around a little too much.
It's crazy, last year summer didn't arrive until like the beginning of July. Here we are mid-May and we're already hitting plus 35 today. Celsius, that's crazy. The water in the lake here is warming up. It's pretty brisk still, but fresh enough that I can, you know, stay in for a while. Man, does it feel so good to be getting this weather this early in the year. Oh. You guys are wondering what the off-grid life be like. This is what it be like. Just white capping on the lake, cooking some spaghetti noodles.
With the major rocking on the dock. Dock's rocking.
Fire! We're dock rocking!
We're dock rocking.
Whoa, man down. The dock rocker's got his electric guitar. Come on, play us a solo. He's a dock rocker. Stabbing yourself. Yo, Deb. Gotta get more logs on my log boom. We got a bit of a camera hogs here. Couple of wild camera hogs. water on here is supposed to be nicer than the water on the other side of the log boom, and I'm not quite getting that effect yet, so we need more logs.
More legs!
Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you aren't already, and leave me a comment down below of what you liked in this video and some of the stuff that you'd like to see more of on this off-grid channel. See you in the next one. Summer out.